Now we have a connection preceded by the video, I think. So we are going to have Micaela Le Divelec, the CEO of Salvatore Ferragamo.
Micaela, buongiorno.
Good morning, Micaela. Good morning, Davide. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear us? Yes, I do. Can you hear me? Yes. It's perfect. Shall we start from the results you just recently published yesterday or the day before yesterday? As if we were in a call with your analysts. Is there anything you would like to underline from these numbers? Yesterday, I had the actual call with our analysts. We communicated the data for the last quarter, which from July showed progressive recovery in all markets. The only exception was Europe, which is strongly affected by the lack of tourism, which for our brand in particular and in general for luxury brands and the absence of Chinese customers was quite noticeable in Q3. Our team is continuing working at initiatives to support our top line. So to keep on engaging with customers and to contain the impact of a lack of traffic that is not up to the level of 2019. And we are also working on simplification for processes and organizational structures in order to be more effective and efficient, in order to achieve good results in the future. So when the pandemic is over, we would like to go back to normal, so to say. With regard to sales, how were the first 9 months of the year? We had two phases, because the first 6 months, as we mentioned at the beginning of September, was, of course, noticeably impacted by the pandemic and the closure of stores throughout the world. Our loss in terms of turnover was superior compared to the average of this industry. Then, in the past 3 months, we had a recovery and we closed with a loss that was contained. It was double digit, but it was minus 20%. We were working on the fourth quarter, and then we had further restrictions from some governments. So we are deploying a new tactic in order to perform well, even when many stores are closed, especially in Europe. With regard to Asia, which is the main, well, now the only macro area that's doing well for a luxury brand. What are your numbers there, your figures? The performances are encouraging in the Chinese market for continental China, but even for other markets that are focused on local brands, so markets that were not as affected by the flows of tourism. Of course, we have the data from our direct boutiques. Wholesale data are mediated. The markets that are performing best are China, continental China, because we had our recovery there in the third quarter, so closing the gap, and we had positive results there. Then Taiwan, which is a market which managed the pandemic in an exemplar way, and which is focused on local clientele, and consumptions are focusing on products of a higher range compared to other markets than Korea. We manage different shops there, and then there's duty free. As you know, Korea has a particular situation because they have Korean duty frees, which were a market for Chinese consumers. There, we are struggling due to the lack of tourists and restrictions in terms of movement between China and Korea, while direct channel focused on local customers had good results in the past 9 months and grew compared to the previous year. So Korea is the market that was least affected by the pandemic, although it was one of the first places where the pandemic hit. The way the virus was managed and contained avoid the complete lockdown and shutdown of shops, which was the main issue for many brands during the first 6 months of 2020. What are the positive aspects of this crisis in terms of changes within the company at an organizational level? How did your approach change? We are facing still a situation every day that's difficult, but it showed the resilience of our teams and the willingness to prevail. So the positive aspect is that we're very ambitious still. We want to overcome this situation, and this is one of the values of the brand. If you think of our founder and of the result he was able to achieve, only betting on himself and on his willingness to succeed. So leadership in the following months should still be ambitious and keep the morale high. Of course, our team struggled because it wasn't easy, needless to say. For example, the Spring-Summer collection presented in June was completely obtained remotely. So all teams worked remotely, and that's really difficult for a brand of leather goods. However, our willingness to succeed, our willingness to meet our goals, and the big ambition shown by the teams is something that we really have to leverage in the future. We need to raise the bar on our ambitions and on our goals. how does the how do sales assistants interact with the customers? We really focus on customer engagement. We've been doing that for the past 2 years. Our sales assistants use digital tools that we have within the company. We leverage interpersonal relationships that in luxury are and will be in the future particularly important. They will probably make a difference in reaching out to our customers and on keeping engagements, on creating loyalty and in creating conversions. Teams are working remotely. They are contacting clients mainly to hear about them because in terms of engagement and conversations with our clientele, I have to say relationships were strengthened. And we really engaged also in terms of how were people, how were they feeling. So shops are closed. We are working remotely, but we are building up towards Christmas. So holiday giving for other markets. So we want to give our sales assistants further tools. So creation of lists and presents so that our customers can still give gifts to their loved ones even without leaving their homes. All companies worked on efficiency and redditivity. Did you change your offer in terms of style, number of items? It is an ongoing process. We refocused on products that were big on comfort. Behaviors change, lifestyle are less formal and more intimate. People are looking for a sense of well-being, a sense of fulfillment. So we focused on products along with our icons. We focused on products that allow our customers to feel well while being at home. In terms of collections, we worked from the onset on reducing the number of SKUs, and we wanted to narrow our focus to produce in a more streamlined way and to offer a more vertical line of products rather than creating new SKUs season after season. Of course, this is not completed. It is an ongoing process. But I have to say that the skills of our staff, the proactivity and the relationships with our community, we could appreciate that behaviors changed, and we need to work on that. One last question. Did you work on your target? Did the target of your customers change? I think luxury is moving towards a younger generation. Did you do anything in particular? Yes. The average age of our customers decreased by 1 year. This is because the number of our Asian customers increased. One of our goals is to interact with a younger target audience, not because we want to neglect our current customers. We know, however, that younger age brackets are influencers in terms of purchase habits, consumption habits. So we want to retarget our messages and engage with a younger clientele is a way to become stronger also for our current customers, for our more loyal customers. That was very interesting. You really took a snapshot of the company and of the market. So thank you very much for being with us today. And I hope you have a nice day. Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye. Bye now.